Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will be talking about everything you will be able to do during this week, and I will also remind you of some important deadlines and important things you need to keep in mind during this week. So, first of all, obviously the biggest thing that will happen this week is the release of Season 3. So with that, it means that you will now have access to Mythic Plus, you will now have access to the new raid, the Manaforge Omega. You will also be able to do the Delve Journey, and you will also have access to Arena and the new PvP rewards. So with that, there's gonna have the Race to World First for raiding. So if you are into that, you can go watch it on Twitch or also see probably the recaps on WoW and on YouTube. With the raid, you will also be able to get some really good gear. So if you want to farm some of that, I would recommend you especially to try to do Eric, as this is not too difficult, but still something that will be maybe a little bit challenging at the beginning. Obviously, normal is also something that you can do and that will reward you with some champions gear, which is still very good. And for those of you who can do mythic, you will be able to get some 717 or 710 high level gear, which is really good too. Here in particular, I want to bring your attention to one boss that you might want to kill in all the different difficulties available. So normal, Eric, and obviously mythic is probably going to be difficult, but at least try in normal and Eric. And this is the Soul Hunters boss in order to have a chance at getting these boots right here that will increase the powers of your Reshii wraps, because as you can see, the powers of your wraps are triggered 40% more frequently, so it will decrease depending on the difficulty. As you can see, normal is only 30%, LFR is 20%, and then Eric is 40% and mythic 50%. But this is really a very useful item that you will be able to use in the raid and outside of the raid, and something that you should definitely try to get if you can. Here I also want to remind you that for LFR, only the first wing will be available during this week, and so here it will only include these bosses right here. You won't have access to the Soul Hunters right away, it will only be the week after that, but at least you will be able to get these three first bosses right here done in LFR, so it might be a good way to get some additional loot. And from the third boss, you will be able to get this really cool cosmetic cloak, which is something that you can also get in LFR, so I would recommend you to try and get it if you like this appearance. Now, next to this, obviously another big thing that you will be able to do during this week is the questline. You will be able to do chapters 4 and 5. So with chapters 5, you will need to kill Dimensions, which is again the last boss of the new raid. And when you do so, you will be able to get one of these optional regents that will allow you to craft an item with an high level of 694, which is basically hero gear that you will be able to further upgrade to 707. So definitely something that is really good, and this is something you will be able to get on all your different characters. So especially if you skipped the main storyline with your alts, you will be able to go kill the last boss and get this crest. If you don't manage to kill Dimensions in normal or heroic difficulty during the first week, remember that the week after that you will have access to story mode, and here you will be able to solo this boss pretty easily. During this week, you will normally also be able to upgrade your Reshii wraps even further, so you will normally have access to more of the ethereal strands. Here, you want to simply complete the storyline, you want to do the weekly Warren quest and then do some delves or PvP, or also just kill some of the different bosses and do Mythic Plus. And with that, you will be able to unlock new powers, which are definitely going to be useful. So just something for you to do as well in priority, because your Reshii wrap is really one of the most important items that you have with you in this new patch. This week, the main event is going to be Timewalking for Wrath of the Lich King, which is really good because it means that you will have access to Ulduar in Timewalking difficulty. And so here, with that, you will be able to probably gear up a lot of your different alts very quick. Here, as you can see, it's still with the high level from the previous season, but normally the normal gear from all the different bosses will be champions gear, so 681 of high level. And then when you will kill Yogg-Saron, you will be able to receive a crate And this is something that will reward you with a piece of hero gear, so 691, that you will be able to further upgrade. And this is something you will normally be able to do in 5 to 10 minutes because there is an easy way to just go and kill Yogg-Saron. So definitely something that I would recommend you to do on all your different alts. And of course, next to that, you will probably also be able to get the main reward for completing 5 of the different Timewalking dungeons or killing 5 of the raid bosses that will reward you with either a piece of gear from the new raid, normal or Eric. And so that's another thing that you might want to do in order to gear up very quickly with this easy champions gear. Then another thing you might be able to start doing this week is farm some of the new mounts that will be added with Season 3 and also some of the other mounts that were not totally available during the first week. So here, some that I think a lot of you are going to be very excited about are the new Keystone Master mounts from Mythic Plus. You have the Keystone Master mount, which is this one. And then you also have the Keystone Legend mount. So these will not be super easy to get, but this is something you can start farming right now. Then from the new raid, you will also have this one right here, but probably this one is not something that anyone is going to be able to get during this week. Or at least I'm not sure if any of the really good guilds will be able to kill Dimensions in Mythic difficulty right away. But this is something you can probably farm later on in the patch. Then from the raid, you will also be able to get this mount when doing the Glory of the Omega Raider achievement, so something you can already do during the first week. This is an okay mount, nothing too crazy here. Then from the new Renown, you will be able to get these 2 mounts. So again, not something you will be able to do directly on week 1, but you will be able to start gaining some Renown for this new Renown system. So at 8, you will be able to get this Vandal's Gear Glider, and then at 14, you will have the Bone Freezer mount right here. Then, of course, you also have this other mount, the Royal Void Wing, which is the new Ahead of the Curve mount that you will be able to get when killing Dimensions in Heroic or Mythic difficulty. So that's normally something you will definitely be able to do during this week. And yeah, this is a pretty nice mount, even though it's just an armored version of one of the previous Ahead of the Curve mounts that we got back in BFA, I believe. And then you will also have the new Vicious mounts from PvP and the new Gladiator mount, which is very nice. But again, for PvP, I know this is something that not a lot of you are necessarily aiming to get. You will also be able to start farming the Curious Laidback mount from the Ringling Pinnacle cache. This is a cache you will be able to get when doing the weekly quest in the Oasis and also the Ecodome. So this is something that you will have only a chance per week per character to get, I believe. And this is a pretty nice mount. I also want to remind you of a few important things you should do right now before the weekly reset. The first one is try as much as possible to do some of the different Mythic 0 dungeons in order to then get a pretty good Great Vault. Same with Delve, you should definitely try to do some plus 11 Delves and things like that in order to get a Great Vault on Wednesday. Make sure also to kill the world boss in order to have a chance at getting some of the easy loot from him. So this is something you should definitely do on all your different alts. Make sure also to do the different weekly quests. So you have the Warren quest that you can pick up from Tazavesh right here in the middle. And then you also have this one from Phase Diving that you will be able to pick up from this place right here, the Overlook Zosho. And especially this is something that you really want to do because you are limited to 7 of these different Untethered coins per week, per account. And as you can see, you can buy tons of different rewards. So you don't want to miss 1 week because like that you will be able to get all the rewards as fast as possible. Just a reminder as well that currently you have 2 Twitch drops available, and one of them, the Aborn Half Shell Turtle Transmog, will be gone today. So this is something that you can only get until today. And then the second one, the pet, will be available until September 16. So for this one, you definitely have time. And again, here you just want to make sure to go there and to watch some content that is linked to World of Warcraft, and normally like that you will be able to get both of these different rewards for free. Also currently you can farm this mount, which is a really cool spectral moose that you can fly with, And this mount is only available twice per year, so once every 6 months. And right now you can farm it. You have until August 20th in order to get your hands on the mount. And all you need to do is to come right here in the Dalaran version from Legion, and you want to pick up this quest from Archaeology, the right path. You will only be able to see the quest when you unlock Archaeology for Legion. And then you will need to go in High Mountain right here, and then you will be able to receive another quest that will reward you with this mount when getting 600 of the different bone fragments, and you just want to go to the different dig sites in order to get these different fragments. So definitely something that I would recommend you to do if you still don't have this mount. And you also have Molly, which is this cute little alpaca mount that will be a rare drop from this world boss right here in Vol'dun, the Dungorger Croddock. And this world boss is up until the weekly reset. And this is a boss that is only up every 6 weeks. So try to go and kill him on all your different alts, and hopefully you will be lucky enough to get your hands on this cute mount. Finally, the last thing that I will mention is that on Saturday they will have the free t-shirt day. So during that event you just want to go in some of the major capital cities and you will be able to buy tons of different shirts from some of the vendors that will appear throughout the city, and they will also just throw some shirts on the ground that you can pick up. So just a fun little micro holiday event that you can use in order to get even more shirts and add more to your collection tab. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime I wish you all a great day. Bye!